Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It's about 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I figured I'd go live today. I want to cover some big stuff on Twitter, and we're going to be reading a lot. We're going to be covering just what is ultimately could be some of the biggest under the radar news in Cardano, World Mobile, Elon Musk, Starlink. And yeah, we're going to dive into it. We're going to basically read a big long Twitter thread, and I'm going to answer a bunch of questions. And yeah, we're just gonna see what happens from there. I figured I'd wait a little bit for people to kind of tap in. Looking at Bitcoin, we're basically coming up on. Let me see here. Where are we? Yeah, we're bouncing, and we on an hourly candle, we've been bouncing down off of the 50 moving average. So, we wicked into it, pulled back, then we got a red reversal, then we moved back up. It's like the price wants to go back up. It wants to rise above the 66.5. So we'll see if we get that done or not. Typically Wednesday's a reversal day. Whether the price is moving up or down, generally Wednesdays are kind of a reversal day into Friday. So what's up, Alex? You are first today. You know what, Alex? I got a story for you. And I don't even know if you're still watching, but I'm going to tell you this story anyway. So I recently saw a Facebook ad for these four different saint statues. There's a collection of four. And I thought that looks really cool, and I bought them because I'm like they're really awesome statues. They're about like this big. Okay, so I mean they're pretty decent. So I thought they were smaller, but what happened was I got my box, and I'm like, hey, my statues are here, and I opened it up, and there was only one. I should have brought it up here. It's downstairs. I put it above the refrigerator. It's Saint Michael. And the weird is I don't know why, man, but I should have been mad because I thought I was buying four statues. It was really only one. It's Saint Michael, and I got kind of emotional, man. Like I still do. For those that you don't know, my Uncle Mike that ultimately got me into crypto, his son is Alex, that's in my chat a lot. And so, it's like everything that I learned in crypto because his father basically told me about dividend stocks and those of you that know that whole story. But yeah, that's Alex. He's always in chat. He's doing very well. He's a big ADA holder, a big Kopi holder. And so yeah, man, I don't know. I was so happy to see this. And so yeah, I mean, St. Michael's watching over the house for us, and I don't know, kind of meant something. So I didn't even care that it wasn't four statues. I got one that means something. So it all worked out. I'm St. Michael because that's what my mom named me after. Yeah, St. Michael is ferocious. Love him. Yeah, the statue is so badass, though. Maybe I'll show it tomorrow. Or you know what I could do? I'll text my wife and I'll have her bring it up because it's really cool. It's like $100. Oh, you know what? She can't because she can't reach above the refrigerator, so she's not going to be able to get it. Just hearing his name gets to me. Dude, I know. Me too. Me too. I was actually just going through Facebook photos, old Facebook photos, and there's a video of Mike holding my oldest daughter Olivia when she was a baby, and oh gosh, it's like it's so crazy. But here we are. You know what I mean? It's like it's a shame how the world loses some of the best people in it way too early, and like the scum of the earth always walks around until they're 110. They say only the good die young. I try to do just enough bad stuff. I'm kidding. I am live on X as well. Yes, Alex, I am live on X. I'm live on X and YouTube at the same time. So 224 of you. Let's go ahead and start diving into this. I don't want to get it all emotional because then I'll be stuffy the rest of the day, and that like plagues me. So let's take a look at what's happening. What's the haps, Paps? So this is Twitter, and this is Ada Ape, and 44,000 followers. I think I just recently followed him today because I saw this pop up. And this is his big, long, I mean, he put some time into this. And he's got some receipts too. There's some photos and things down below. And I need to dive into this. I need to find out how much truth and relevancy this is. And I haven't asked yet. And I don't know that they would tell me anyway, but I am in a group with some of the founders of World Mobile. I have like 100,000 World Mobile tokens, and I think I staked them like a while ago. I have no idea what's in there now. It's been, I don't know, maybe it's been a year, maybe longer. So I'll have to look. But World Mobile, Elon Musk, and Starlink, do not ignore this insane alpha. If true, potentially the opportunity of a lifetime. And I'll say this also. Last night I was looking at my portfolio. Everything was red except World Mobile. World Mobile was up like 15%. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And so yeah, I mean, there's definitely some stuff brewing. Let's just go ahead and dive into it. Stop what you're doing and read this thread and the attached images in both posts. Next post contains bonus leaked alpha about Android nodes and national expansions too. Now, I do know, and I haven't read all this. I'm going to read this with you. I was skimming through it. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of stuff in here. Let's just go live and talk about it. Because I love your feedback and your comments, and I want to see what you guys think about all of this. Maybe this is some significant alpha. But I know that originally World Mobile Token was working on basically, connecting the unconnected in different parts of Africa, right? And then I know that they started moving into, they were getting proper licensing and things, I guess, as it relates to the US, because they want to, their goal is to basically connect everybody in underserved markets throughout the US, rural areas that big companies like AT&T and Verizon and all these groups, it costs them too much to build the infrastructure for these networks. So that's basically what World Mobile's doing, is they're basically connecting all these people in these underserved areas because of disparity. There's not enough people here. Basically, economically, it's not as sound for a major company to go in and lay down infrastructure. And so World Mobile's doing it. And I'm like, this is World Mobile. Here's the thing, and I don't think people really truly understand this. Of all the use cases in crypto, World Mobile is probably one of the biggest, most legitimate, life-changing, world-changing applications for blockchain tech we've ever seen to date. DeFi, all that stuff, that's all great. And it's cool for financial markets. And it's cool to, quote unquote, disrupt the financial era and all that. And that's all fun. NFTs, cool, fun. A lot of the stuff I feel in crypto right now is still fairly gimmicky. And here's the thing. World Mobile isn't just a Cardano application, okay? They're running multi-chain. They're doing a lot of different things. They're doing everything that they need to do to facilitate what their needs are on a global scale. Cardano just happens to be where they launched, where they started. I would assume one of the primary blockchains that they utilize. So there's definitely a lot to this. And hold on. See, I'm a little stuffy because I got a little verklempt talking about my uncle with Alex in the chat and my little statue. So here we go. It looks like Elon Musk, SpaceX, and World Mobile Token might be officially teaming up to expand on their already existing partnership. See attached images for news coverage. And try to bring fast, affordable internet to billions of people all over the world. They've already run a successful pilot scheme together, see images, and it's getting harder and harder to hide further collaborations. I mean, that alone is just like kind of gives you chills, really. Check this out and read the images attached. Elon Musk has openly stated that though Starlink is fantastic, it is too slow and expensive to be meaningfully competitive with traditional cellular and Wi-Fi providers. This is true. I have a Starlink. I have when I was living in another part of Florida, we couldn't get high speed there yet. As crazy as it was, couldn't get high speed. If you guys remember, my internet was choppy. I kept losing connection. It was garbage. Well, we got high speed out there now, but I ended up seeing this tip on TikTok saying if you buy the mobile unit for Starlink, even though the website says that you can't get service, you actually can, because they can't really control that apparently. And so I was like, all right. So I shelled out like $800 and I bought my unit and hooked it up, set it up. Sure enough, I got internet, and it was high speed, but it's not like what I have now. And so now I generally just use it as a backup in case my internet goes out on the network or whatever. I use it as a backup because, the family needs to watch their movies, right? Especially during a storm. But it isn't the same. I will say that. And it does tend to like flicker out. And I think depending on like what's going on with the weather and any blockages to the uplink and all that stuff. So it's not 100%, but it's solid. I mean, it's solid and it does work. Still, he believes that providing internet to humanity is an extremely important goal, essential to lifting people out of poverty, and is building a global satellite company to try and solve the problem. In spite of his own admission that the coverage provided is too slow. Okay, too slow. See images and quote tweets. We're going to look at all of this. World Mobile and Elon Musk Starlink run a successful pilot bringing fast, affordable internet to a remote region of the United Kingdom. See attached for news coverage. World Mobile teams up with Vodacom. 200, what is this? Oh, wow, 600,000 followers on that. I'm going to follow that. 200 million cellular customers in Africa. Wow. To launch a record-breaking world's first test scheme of a mobile data aerostat. That's what they're called. I keep forgetting the name of those aerostats in Mozambique. World Mobile teams up with Vodacom. That's just crazy. I haven't even heard this. To launch a record-breaking world's first test scheme of a mobile data aerostat. Holy cow. The aerostat test goes so well, it wins the world's biggest telecoms industry award for innovation and non-core revenue. Number 5, the World Mobile team, including CEO Mr. Telecoms. If you guys remember, I had him on my channel like years ago when World Mobile Token was launching. And he was a super sharp, super cool guy. And he was very down to earth as well. I mean this in the most respectful, nicest way, but he was like a very intelligent grunt. Like he's out there doing shit. He's not just some guy that sits at a desk calling shots while a bunch of lemmings do it for him. He's like out there in the thick of it, just getting shit done. He's a baller, man. He's an alpha, and I like that. Is photographed on the national security grade, invite only SpaceX Starbase. They are a contractor for NASA and the U.S. government. You can't just call in for a visit. You need an invite and clearance. Bam. Number 6. An aerostat is recently seen on the SpaceX Starbase in the background of a live rocket launch video. And there's a bunch of images and stuff we're going to look at to like verify all this. Mr. Telecom posts a photo of an aerostat in the air in an undisclosed location. Well, they do that a lot, I think. XCOM user RangerCat uses Google Maps to plausibly triangulate the photo by World Mobile team CEO of the mysterious aerostat to the Starlink Starbase. All right, we're going to follow this guy too. I'm literally reading this alongside with you guys live. I just like doing things raw and live with everyone, so you guys get my real reactions. I don't really like all of it almost feels scripted if I like read through everything, take notes and all that. I don't know. You guys have to let me know if you guys prefer it this way or not. This photo of it in the sky being based at the Starbase is the weakest and most speculative part of this thread. It relies on assumptions based on knowledge of the existing partnership between the two companies, photographic evidence of the team at the base, photographic evidence of an aerostat at the base during a rocket launch, knowledge that World Mobile are industry leaders and experts in aerostat telecommunications. Admissions that more aerostats are being launched in Africa too, and the presence of similar non-regional specific flora in the photo and Google Maps. It would most likely have been noticed in the sky by locals. Or would it though? Because these things get pretty high. And some people might look at it and just think it's a blimp and think nothing of it. And if they're not blockchain savvy, they don't know anything about it, they would just think somebody's flying a blimp, right? I give this, and they do look different. These aerostats look a lot different than like the Goodyear blimp you see above Super Bowls and stuff. They look different, but similar enough, especially from a distance, that people just might be like, oh, look, there's a blimp. Cool. And then go back to their gardening or whatever. I give this specific photo alone a 30% chance of being true. Everything else is proven. What to read into is up to the individual based on the evidence. Number 9, World Mobile Team confirms official aerostat launch coming soon, confirming plan to build on the award-winning launch. Test launch was not just a flash in the pan, an academic exercise or for marketing purposes. It is 100% being rolled out and acted upon. Comments by Web3 Cat. We're going to follow them. I'm trying to follow more people on Twitter. I want to get my Twitter to like 100,000 people. I feel like I'm like hung somehow at like 54.7 and it goes down to 54.4 and back up and back down. I don't know what's happening there. World Mobile is already working in 10 countries, all these different countries. I didn't even know that they were operating in all these places. It is a licensed telecom provider in 4 U.S. states: California, Nevada, Utah, and Washington. That's interesting to me. That's very interesting to me. With talks ongoing with over 20 others. Before I go any further, let me make perfectly clear once again that this is just a hypothesis based on publicly available information. Only ever invest in what you can afford to mentally and financially watch go to absolute zero. Although World Mobile Token's been performing pretty well lately. This is one of the most dangerous and volatile markets in history. As we all know, memes, pump, and fundamentals are no longer guarantees of success. And that's absolutely true. It just, and this is one of my big hangups in the crypto space nowadays, folks. It's like being here since 2017, I feel like I've quite literally seen just about everything. And I have been extremely bullish on projects that I thought were absolutely going to redefine everything in that vertical. And then they just kind of disappear. And I don't understand the nuances behind a lot of that. There's a lot more that I would love to be able to do in crypto, but more kind of behind the scenes. You know, I'd love to be like an agent or something and like really have the power to like really deep dive like with a team and like really go in to the background. I'll give you an example. There was that project a couple years ago that offered me $1 million to become like an advisor and a marketer for them. And I hired an attorney because the deal was so big that I'm like, I want to make sure that all of this is legit. And this attorney had a former FBI agent on staff who specifically focused on background checks and things. And he looked into everybody, man. And then he sent me this big report and he was like, you know, I won't even get into all the details now, but he was like, you know, everything looks great at face value. But if you deep dive into the history of a lot of the people on that team, they were always doing a lot of weird, shady shit, gray area stuff. And so I passed on it. I've never heard from that project since, or of the project since. So it looks like that was a very good call. It's just how a lot of stuff is. I mean, look at Alex Mashinsky, folks. I mean, need I say more? I mean, I thought he was like the best dude. I thought he was as genuine as fine wine. And you know, we learn. World War III could break out. The Fed could spike interest rates tomorrow, even though I think they're looking to bring them back down like 3 times. The SEC and White House could outlaw all cryptos and shut down all exchanges. You have no idea. Don't ever go into debt to invest. Don't use leverage. I use 3X. I use 3X leverage anymore. I've dabbled in 5. I dabbled in 10. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to hang out at 3X. That way I can be less worried about being liquidated, especially in a bull market. So anyway, basically just a lot of stuff. Be sensible. This is risky stuff we're dealing with. Extremely risky. Be sensible. Okay, good. Things we know for a fact that also support this. Let's dive into this. We know Elon Musk understands and fundamentally believes in blockchain, as stated on countless occasions in public and on XCOM. And welcome, 602 of you. I think we're breaking little records here today. Maybe me going live or doing stuff at 3 p.m. like YouTube says isn't necessarily what I should be doing. And I will be going into questions, and I'm going to do some Q&A after this live stream. We know Elon Musk is brave enough to genuinely try and topple entire existing industries on their heads. Cars, space cargo, social media, and now telecoms. Wouldn't that be something? I will also say that there is something to the conspiracies that Elon Musk is like one of the antichrists or whatever. I know that sounds insane. But I do worry about somebody, the European descent, blah, 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 blah. Like all this stuff really does seem to line up. And when you're talking about somebody who is ultimately working his way into controlling pretty much all major facets of society, that can be a little scary to me. But until he proves otherwise, he seems like a pretty damn cool dude. I would love to meet him and talk to him or interview him. I find him one of the most fascinating people alive today. I really do. I don't think he's any kind of antichrist, but you just never know. There's a lot of signs pointing to like what might be coming down the pipe here in the not so distant future. We know he truly believes internet access is a human right and key to lifting people out of poverty. We know he is driven in business to change lives and change the world with ambitions and bold investments. We know Starlink and World Mobile have worked together, and Elon Musk has invited Mr. Telecoms to the Starbase. I looked at some of the photos. I mean, that's a fact. We know there are more aerostat launches coming. If this is true, which seems possible, World Mobile Token is not just going to outperform all other CNTs in price and adoption. World Mobile Token is not just going to outperform ADA and Cardano in price and adoption. World Mobile Token is not just going to outperform the majority of other crypto projects in price and adoption. If this is true, World Mobile Token is going to outperform almost every investment in any market in the world. That might be stretching it. If Elon can see Dogecoin into the top 10, what do you think the chances are of World Mobile Token making the top 20 or 50? It's now ranked number 459 behind Banana Gun Coin. That is pretty insulting, I got to admit. That's insane. I just think that people don't understand the tech or what World Mobile's building and what they're doing and the accomplishment. Listen, I love World Mobile. I hold World Mobile tokens, and I wasn't even privy to a lot of this. So that just goes to show, there are people that are out there and they're pumping all of their money in like just marketing, trying to build FOMO and hype and shit around shit coins. We see that often in the meme coin market. We see that often in other blockchains, even layer ones. We see, ad nauseum, but they lack in tech and they lack in functionality and they lack in what they've actually built for the space. They spend more time and money pumping up old money with new money and then selling and cycling that shit. That's the way a lot of these crypto projects operate. It's how a lot of them fund themselves on top of it. And then you have projects like World Mobile, which to me really matches the mentality behind how Cardano is driven and ran. A lot of people say, well, why doesn't Cardano do more marketing? Why doesn't Cardano do this and do that? Well, for one, when you're in such a litigious climate where everybody in crypto is getting sued for something, and it's just like everybody's got their hand out, everybody's trying to there's no accountability in crypto. People want to just do whatever they want to do without having to worry about anything, and as long as they have somebody else to blame, they're going to try. And it doesn't generally go well for a lot of those people, but it's still a thing. And we see that all the way up into the government levels. And so when you see that, it's difficult for somebody like Cardano to continue to market themselves what should they be doing? Putting up billboards on the side of the road, try Cardano, we're changing the world, or Cardano, changing the world together, trustlessly in a decentralized, what are they supposed to say exactly? Cardano focuses their marketing on developers and builders to build applications and projects. So if anything, I do think that, Cardano should be putting more money into actually marketing. Here's what I think. This is off the cuff, and this is just what I think. I almost believe that projects that are wanting to build on the Cardano blockchain should just build There shouldn't be a project catalyst for building these applications because the majority of them are shit. And a lot of these projects that are seeking money and capital to build projects that learn how to game the system are getting this funding, and then they don't ever complete the project, or they launch it and they don't do anything with it. They made money. They're basically paying themselves and their developers, and that is the gig, keeping themselves in business by building and developing, but they're not actually building anything. What I would rather see is there's no development funding, okay? Or there is development funding once you've met a certain MVP metric, and from there it trickles in, and then it's all about marketing budget. Because I would much rather see Cardano Treasury go into marketing the applications that reach the end user, that in turn promote the Cardano blockchain through use case. And that's what I would like to see more of. I would like to see Cardano actually actively helping support the projects and applications that are being built on the blockchain. That way, they're not promoting Cardano directly. They're not saying, hey, go out and buy Cardano because the price is going to go up. They're not doing that. And that would create a whole legal liability for Cardano. Especially in this what's a security, what's not a security climate. But I would like to see more significant active support of actual blockchains, actual projects, dApps, applications, games, whatever. That's where I think a lot of the money should be going. But anyway, the World Mobile Token team have publicly stated they have a plan for T1 listings and solving liquidity problems. We know they have partnered with the only regulatory compliant blockchain in China, the first provider of blockchain eSIMs. The CEO of Coinbase has literally publicly shown the project love on X.com. It already has tens of thousands of users across 10 countries, and it's not even on mainnet yet. It has a mystery announcement before the summer about multi-chain plans. I've never in my life seen something this undervalued, and I invested in ADA at 3 cents, and AGIX before it was even called AGIX at 11 cents. Good call on this guy's part. This is not financial advice, and this is not proven or a fact, but I sure as hell am going to connect the dots myself and recollaborate my portfolio more into World Mobile Token based on my own personal risk profile. In a market driven by narratives and adoption, I don't want to be underexposed to World Mobile Token if this comes to fruition. Call me a shill, say whatever you want, I don't care. I literally couldn't keep this to myself because if it's true, everyone deep in the Cardano community who follows my account deserved the chance to know this before the rest of the market. Good on this guy. Good on this guy. And he's tagged a bunch of people. I wonder if he tagged me. I don't see myself in here. Oh, I see how it is. I was the first, right? I was the first YouTuber to talk about Cardano and everyone was hating it, Mr. Ada Ape. Huh? Do you know who I am? You didn't tag me? I see how it is, man. All right, man. Nothing but love. Good work on this. Absolutely good work on this. And absolutely, everybody should do your own research. But here's some of the photos. World Mobile CEO at Mr. Telecoms and team at SpaceX Starbase. Aerostat seen in SpaceX Starbase in the background of a rocket launch video. I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen for you. Oh, it doesn't really change much. Okay, doesn't really change much. Let's see here. In this episode of Tech on Top, I speak with Mickey Watkins, CEO of World Mobile Group. They've scaled on Cardano blockchain and successfully conducted their first pilot test using Starlink satellite constellation and World Mobile's infrastructure. Mickey highlights some future plans to open investment opportunities. Now, there's one caveat that I want to make to this is, and this is where the details are a little iffy. We don't know if World Mobile Token is in an actual developmental partnership with SpaceX or if they're just a client, in the sense that, if I develop, so like I've got my trading card game, which I just got more updates this morning and it's so baller. There's some bugs. It's being play tested, but it's going to be baller. It's going to be insane. I cannot wait. I'm going to be such a fiend and an addict on my own card game. I even love all the art and I'm the one making it. Like I love the card art. I'm like, it pulls me in. I'm super excited about it. The website is going to be updated very soon also, because it still has the old Wargram like miniature stuff. We haven't updated. When we update it, it's going to be badass. I'm telling you, guys are going to be pumped. All you Cardano users out there, 766 of you. You know, I expect every one of you guys to be playing my game when it launches. So anyway, if I were to use AWS, you know, Amazon services for whatever reason to host elements of my game, it doesn't mean I partnered with them. It just means I'm a client, I'm a customer. And that's what we don't know. We don't know if they're just a very high-end customer working with SpaceX for their Starlink connectivity, or if they're partnering together to basically share tech and so forth. We don't know. There's an Aerostat World Mobile CEO teaser tweet, February 2024. An Aerostat up in the air. Right, SpaceX car park, left photo taken from parked car through sunroof. Oh, I see. So you can see the cars parked here, shooting through those trees up into the Aerostat being tested on SpaceX grounds. That's huge. That's so cool. That's absolutely cool. Man, stuff kind of gives you chills a little bit. Kind of gives you chills. I'm glad I hold some, I can tell you that. The flag on the tail and thick white legs are new, and were not seen on the original award-winning Aerostat launched in collaboration with Vodacom. The photo on the left is a confirmed World Mobile Aerostat being launched in Mozambique shortly. 70 kilometer radius of fast, affordable mobile. So a 70 kilometer radius around the focal point of the Aerostat. The photo on the right is a cropped image of the accidental leak of an Aerostat on the SpaceX Starbase during a live stream of a rocket launch. And it's very fuzzy, but you can see it. And you can all go check this stuff out. So that's the story, man. And then there's additional photos. There's a Falcon 9 on display at the HQ in Hawthorne, seen in many selfies. Man, just to be out there would just be so stinking cool. Can you, I mean, honest to God, Elon Musk, man. I feel like being able to listen to and talk to someone like Elon Musk right now, 777, we just hit a jackpot of those of you that are live with me today. Thanks for joining me here at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I feel like being able to sit down and talk to someone like Elon Musk would be like, you know, the equivalent of being able to sit down and talk to somebody like Albert Einstein or Tesla or something like that back in the day. You know, it's just such an amazing thing. The official World Mobile team seem to think it's cool, might be onto something. It's all speculation at this point. We know for a fact they work together. We know for a fact they have symbiotic business model. So yeah, I guess people on the team are liking and making comments on some of this stuff. So this is absolutely huge news. And this is a great job. Like, this is almost like, to some extent, this is like crypto journalism, like real crypto journalism. I wonder if Ada Ape, no links, just a stake pool. Yes, I have the Crow node, but you know what? I would say Ada Ape deserves some. I haven't even looked. I'm going to look at his node and see how well he's doing. I mean, he deserves a little boost for a job well done on connecting these dots and the effort that was put into this tweet. So congratulations, Ada Ape. Much love to you. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the comments and what you guys have to say about what's going on in the world of cryptos. Yes, I put a new backdrop up, but I might just go back to the green screen. When I run my green screen, I have to have so many lights, and it makes my color look weird. And the office I'm in right now is just too small to light things properly. I need to get back to my old one. All right, so let's take a look at some of the comments. It would be an $800 billion market cap. It is a stretch, but the math works out if we consider a $12 to $15 trillion T1 total crypto market cap. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Your stream is almost doing as well as BitBoys today. Great work, Crow. Oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, you know what? I remember the days, man, back before my channel got kind of like shut down on YouTube and all of that craziness was going on. I'd have 2,000, 2,500 people live. And now there's just so many YouTubers and so many people in the space that, I'm like just like the old OG, like sitting in the corner eating my prunes. But it is nice to see almost 800 people live with me this afternoon. Crow, do you board game? Do I board game? Well, let's just say I own about 30 of them and I haven't played a single one. The last board game I think I bought, well, we just bought chess because I want to teach my 11-year-old daughter chess, and we bought Scrabble. But before that, I bought the Dark Souls board game and I started painting everything. I play a game called War Machine, actually, which is a miniatures tabletop game that I absolutely love, but nobody plays it in Florida. So I literally have hundreds of models on a shelf. I painted the majority of them. I have nobody to play with. It's kind of depressing. But I have a lot of board games, man. Yeah, but I don't play them. I don't have anybody to play with because I buy them because they look really cool. And then I open up the instruction booklet and then I'm like, I don't have time for this. I would love to, but I need people to teach me how to play the games. $24 ADA incoming if all the dots are connected. Oh, I see. That's what that $800 billion market cap comment was. Listen, I'm holding true to my $8 Cardano prediction. I don't know if we're going to go higher than that in this market cycle, but in the 2030 cycle, the gloves are off. The gloves are absolutely off. I just think that the technology behind Cardano is still being learned and understood by developers, especially the end user. I think that we need more use cases. We need more enterprise level use case for Cardano, not just memes, not just NFTs, not just all the same silly shit that we see on every blockchain. Cardano is built to be better than that. And I don't think it's really had the true opportunity to shine yet. And I think that once Hydra scales up, adoption of Hydra takes to the nodes. Once we see a lot of the tools that have been developed and continue to get better on Cardano, I think we're going to start seeing some very, very strong use cases in Cardano. And I think we're going to start seeing the launch announcements for some significant stuff on Cardano. Obviously, Copy token and Cornucopias is going to play a big role in that because, quite frankly, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to be able to get into my lands and start literally building. I just want to build. I want the building tools. They know how bad I want it. I want it so bad I can taste it. I would sit around watching No Man's Sky videos and just watching all of the crazy star bases people would build. Imagine when we're able to do that on land we own in a metaverse game such as Cornucopias. That is going to change the game. When people are able to truly build on their land, build buildings, properties, businesses in a game using their own token, like if I'm using the Crow token, which I just got I might have a very big announcement coming up for Crow token here very soon. Wink, wink, nod, nod. It's going to be pretty cool. But even if I'm able to do some of that stuff, people could be literally building businesses in something like Cornucopias, and if they went out, they could sell it. They just sell the NFTs with the land, and I'm assuming that everything will go with it. And so you're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff. And I'm hoping that there's a time when, like I have my private invite only influencer group. I think there's like 250 crypto influencers in this group. I launched it all the way back in 2017. And it's how a lot of us stay connected. We find out about different events and things like that. It's how we basically all got connected to do the Karate Combat IFC thing. I think I even won an award because I launched that group and brought all these people together, and by Adam Charles, and which is very cool. But it's like I know all of these people. I want to get everybody into Cornucopias when it's time, and I would love for us to all have networks and different amusements and different things that. I want to showcase my NFTs in like kind of my Cornucopias house. It'll lead out into my like fun land. I want to have a battle arena, and I'm going to be doing live concert events in my dome and just all kinds of crazy cool stuff. One-on-one interviews exclusive to my Cornucopias dome. I'm probably going to name it Crow's Nest or something like that. And you'll be able to buy tickets for like, for some events, if you're just holding a Murder of Crows NFT, you'll get access for free. Others, you might have to pay in like Crow token to get access. There's just going to be so much cool shit. And I just can't wait. And when that happens, I'm telling you, the numbers on Cardano, the transactions, all of this stuff is going to go bazonkers. And that's not the only metaverse being developed. And that's just one use case. You know, imagine if all of the police departments in the world, or even in different countries, are utilizing Cardano or Midnight or whatever to continue building upon these international databases, which are being tested right now in Dubai, in the police departments in Dubai. They're using Cardano. Why are these kinds of applications using Cardano as opposed to other blockchains? Because this is the reason for Cardano being built. The truly decentralized nature, the secure methodology behind its development, how secure this blockchain is, and how there's so much to it. The fact that you're storing multiple data points in transactions, in singular transactions on the blockchain. There's so much to it. As a matter of fact, there's almost 900 of you on. So April 10th, I don't know if it's going to be live. I don't think it's going to be live. But I just confirmed April 10th, I will be, I'm actually going to be getting interviewed by Gary Cardone. Many of you know I was at his birthday party recently with Metamona and my wife, and we were all out there. We met him. He was a super cool guy, man. Not like his brother at all. I honestly didn't know that Grant Cardone had a twin brother, Gary. I didn't know. And so I was pretty ignorant, but then I met him and I'm like, you're really cool. I'm not saying his brother isn't, but his brother's very sales-like. He's very saley. Like, you know, I'm selling this, I'm buying and trading the world. And his brother's a lot more down to earth, but a major Bitcoin bull. And he's going to bring me on to see if I can convert him into becoming an ADA bull. And I think I'm going to be able to do that. So I know that we're going to be at least shooting the interview on April 10th. When it launches, I don't know. We'll see. But he's interviewed everybody from some of my favorite people like Pat David with Valuetainment. Just a lot of really cool people. So I'm looking forward to that. It's really going to be iconic, I think, in a lot of ways. And we're going to see, can I turn an ADA bull or a Bitcoin bull into a Cardano bull? Because if I do, well, let's just say Gary has the resources to make a difference in the price. So we're going to do what I can. Hopefully you guys support that when it does launch, because it's going to be a pretty big deal. Let's continue going into some of these comments. Crow, my broadband company here in Oregon, Adaptive Broadband, partnered with World Mobile Token. Wow, there you go. I mean, how you like them apples? I love it. In the chat, let me know how many of you guys happen to be in the Tampa, Florida area. I'd really like to know. Hit me with a Tampa in chat if you are in the Tampa area, because there's a couple things that I'd like to do. Number one, I want to have a big meet and greet. And on May 31st, my wife and I are producing a live action play in Tampa. Called Time for Love. The website's tonofapples.com if you're interested. But I'm curious to see how many of you, now that there's almost 900 of you in the chat, how many of you are in the Tampa area and would like me to set up like a meet and greet kind of party, kind of event somewhere? Because Metamona and I have been working on something. We've been talking about it for a little while because she's based in Orlando. And so we thought, well, let's just do like a meet and greet and like answer questions, hang out with everybody, have some food and drinks and things, and just have a good time. And there are a lot of big ballers here in Tampa in the crypto space that would be involved as well. So yeah, let me know in chat how many of you are in Tampa or would even care. I greatly appreciate that. Let's see, what's this? So many of you have this false narrative that IOG and the techies should be leading our marketing. That's not how the real world works. Yeah, I agree. But you also have to take into consideration that that IOG, I mean, Emergo is the marketing arm. IOG is more the development arm, and then Cardano Foundation that does other stuff. Emergo is really supposed to be the marketing arm behind Cardano and everything related to Cardano projects. I don't even really know what all they do. I don't even really know what they've done, if I'm honest. I'm sure they do stuff, but it just doesn't seem like that much. I will admit, it just doesn't. But we don't know what they do behind the scenes. We just don't. There's a lot we don't know about how Cardano does its marketing internally or what their overall goals are. I'm assuming that their primary goal is to build adoption by developers and then help support those projects. But there's only I mean, when you're talking about building a truly decentralized layer one blockchain, all you can really do is focus on the tech, right? I will say that I wish they had more of like a layman's arm, right? I think one of the biggest issues with Cardano as it relates to the general public is that when Charles goes live and he rambles for an hour and a half about all of this technical gobbledygook, that's targeted towards developers, not you and me. That is targeting people. I mean, people watch it and they're like, yay, Charles is brilliant, but they don't have any idea what the hell he said. Like they really don't. Half the time I don't. I'll watch his live streams and I have to go and I'll spend 3 hours looking up everything he says and make sense of it. I've put together videos in the past where I'm like decoding Charles Hoskinson, where I take a video and I basically decipher it in the layman's terms. Those videos have actually done pretty well in the past. I might have to do more in the future. But the message isn't to the end user. It's always a message to developers. It's like they're always selling the technology, but they're selling the technology to development houses, development teams, basically to say, build your application on Cardano. Here's why. And it's missing that connection to the general end user, the general investor. They're not targeting investors. And so I think that's one of the major disconnects as it relates to Cardano and the public. It's that it's just not about it's not about reaching the general public, and it probably should be. So yeah. Good morning. Hello, Zell Prentice. 3:28 a.m. down under an AU, and watching this good news, I can go back to sleep smiling. Well, good. I'm glad I could help you get to sleep with a smile on your face. Oh, we have an OnlyFans spammer in the chat. Is that what this is? I don't think anybody cares about the OnlyFans. Marketing will cause an SEC issue. Exactly, Giovanni. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm curious if we're going to be able to break 1,000 live viewers. This will be a new record for me, probably in the past couple years at least. So God love Twitter, because Twitter doesn't shadow ban me. I'm going to hazard a guess that the majority of you are on Twitter. I could be wrong. I'm not quite sure. Elon has his eyes on Cardano and is smart enough to have understood its tech. He cannot say it out loud, but can use and work with the tech if he wants. Yes, and I love your murder of Crow's NFT in the avatar. I've always got to give you guys some shout outs and love when you guys show me that. Elon is South African, not European. Yes, you're right. Okay, and I'm going to make this abundantly clear. My geographical knowledge is nil. Okay, if somebody asked me like, where is this country on a map, I'd be like, I don't know, and I'd point to Iowa. I don't know. I when I was interviewing Le Petite Ada, who is super sweet, by the way. If you haven't watched that interview, you should check it out. She's fantastic, speaks multiple languages, and was basically giving me kind of an education on and my wife laughs at me all the time because my wife is very cultured. My wife loves culture. She loves people of all different countries and walks of life. She thrives on it. And I feel like my wife loves to be, if my wife could have a group of friends and each one was from a different part of the world, she would absolutely love it. She'd probably try to learn all of their languages and try to learn all of their style and all of their ways and all of their lingo. She just loves it. I, on the other hand, am just some old white dude on the internet. I just don't have any culture whatsoever. My wife is my culture. I gained some of that vicariously through her. Okay. And I'm happily willing to admit that. So my geographical knowledge is definitely lacking. I thrive in my tech knowledge, my how-to knowledge, my getting things done knowledge. That's about it. But I can't tell you, like she's from Switzerland, and I made a comment about her speaking Swedish or something. I don't know. And a bunch of people were pointing that out in the comments. Yes, I agree. I'm not the brightest tool in the shed when it comes to anything related to geography. Okay. But he is too old at this point. Anti just means other than not a necessarily bad, but I don't know. Abel Matthew, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. Mr. Crow, is Cardano forming a giant head and shoulders pattern? Interesting. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't have any of my charts loaded up into this, so I can't dive into it. But it could be. We'll see. I don't necessarily think the price is going to go much lower. I told a friend of mine a few weeks ago. He was asking me when, like, because, you know, I was educating him all on Cardano, and I was like, you know, pick some up if you want, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, when's a good time? And I'm like, well, you might want to average in, because chances are we're going to get a big dip here between now and the halving. And, you know, I'm like, we had one, it was the, you know, it wasn't that big. I said, but there's a lot changing in the market cycle that we never dealt with before. I said, but if you average in instead of go, and I think the price was 60, 65, 67 cents, something to that effect when we had this conversation. And I'm like, I could see the price getting into the 50s. I even did a video on it, and everybody's like, you're full of shit, Crow. I'm like, all right, you know, whatever. Can't please everyone. I did say that I could see the price getting into the low 50s in Cardano before we spring back. You know, here we are, we're at 58 cents. What do we get? A local low of probably 56, 57. Yeah, 56. So that might be it. I don't know. We might start pulling back from there. I know GBTC or not GBTC, Grayscale apparently was dumping. I don't even know the full narrative around that, but I know Grayscale was dumping a lot and was sending the price down even further. But and then if you look at someone like Annie, another Aussie, who I was just telling my wife about how much I love Annie with Trade Travel Chill. If you have not subscribed to her channel, folks, and you're into charting and understand what's going on, and you really want to get a good idea as to what's happening in price, there's just nobody I trust bet more. Honestly, I love Crypto Face. He knows this stuff, and he's a little crazy. I love him. There are a lot of guys out there that I really respect as far as their TA and everything, but I feel like a lot of them have a very similar flow and understanding. Annie with Trade Travel Chill is on another freaking level. She's like, to me, she learned from Jacob Canfield. Okay. And I've been chatting with him a little bit. Like a few weeks ago, we were swapping some DMs on Twitter, and she learned everything, the market maker method and all that stuff. She learned from Jacob Canfield, and now she is just a power player. I was watching some of her stuff this morning. I got interrupted a bit. And so I didn't finish it. I'm going to finish it later today. But man, I tell you what, there have been times where I've watched her video, because she's in Australia. So she puts her video content out. By the time I'm waking up, if I get up at 8 a.m., which I have been waking up a lot earlier lately, 992 people in this live stream. I hope we can break 1,000 before the hour. But I'm telling you, just you got to watch her. You just have to watch her. You will learn so much. Watch her religiously for a month, and you're going to learn more than most people in TA know on crypto. And that's my personal opinion. But yeah, Trade Travel Chill. Go give her a subscribe and make sure you send her my love, will you? Hey, Crow, been staking with you for over a year now on your Crow node. Love your channel and happy every time I see you're doing a stream. Thank you, Code 88. I appreciate it. Crow node is doing really well. It's just CROW. You know, we've had that node. We keep it updated. We do the best we can. And I think there's something like 32 million, maybe 33 million ADA. At one point, it was like 65 million. I had to create a spillover node. And but it's been doing broke 1,000 in the live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hopefully you guys play back the video and you guys are able to see everything that we talked about as far as Elon Musk World Mobile Token. Now I'm just answering some questions for everybody. Hi, Crow. What do you think the market is heading? We've been going down a lot lately. I'm worried, though. I'm not, because you know what? We used to have 40% drops in a bull run. We're in a bull market right now, but we're not necessarily in a bull run. Okay, I would consider this kind of the calm before the storm. And you know, when the market is still weak, you have to think about it. A lot of the market momentum right now is happening because of the market makers. And when there's significant liquidity available to the up or the down, that's where the price goes. As the price gets to certain price points, then the media starts really pumping it, right? Right now, all of these major institutions are still trying to get in. They're still buying in. And that's going to continue going. And this is one of the reasons why I've said, and I've been saying for years, that we may not get the significant dumps we're used to seeing in the crypto space at this cycle. We might get a pie inflection. We might get a pie crossover, and it might call the peak of a market. And maybe the major institutions, maybe they play those markets. Maybe they play that dump and they dump as well, causing the price to go down quicker. I don't know. I don't know what fiscal or fiduciary responsibilities are related to running these spot ETFs. I don't know if they can push the market price down by selling. I don't know how that all works. Okay. But I will say that for years now, I've been saying that this may be the last market we see where we get an 80% drop in crypto after we peak. This may just be a continuing cycle or a super cycle, if you will. And if you've been watching me for years, you guys know I've been saying this for quite some time, that this may be the last time to get in to the crypto space at the prices they're at. The idea of picking up Cardano at around 55 or 60 cents, that may just be an absolute thing of the past over the next year. You may never see that again. And we're going to reach a point where, like in Cardano's price, I expect to see a point where I would love to be able to live off of my node, just in the yields that I generate from my node. Maybe not, live off of it. But if I can pay some bills every month just based off of operating my node, because I can tell you this last bear market has been an expense. Running that server, I think the server alone cost me like $300 or $400 a month or something crazy. I don't know what it is. And it's just like all of the security and all of the stuff that goes into it. When Cardano's worth 20 cents, it's not my yield off of my node isn't worth it. But I've always kept it up for you folks because I don't want any of you guys to have to bounce your stuff around, or you didn't hear, oh, I closed the node, or I didn't do this, or I didn't do that. And you're sitting there like trusting me. And then, you don't even realize that the node has been shut down and your ADA hasn't been delegated. So honestly, it's one of the main reasons why I didn't just put it on pause through the bear market. But honestly, the bear market is where you build. So all of the ADA that we've generated on the Crow node all of this time in the bear market, well, now look at it. It's going to continue going up. And then once it does reach a $3, $4, $5, $6, $8, $10 even maybe as a potential. Once that happens, well, then it makes it all worth it again, right? So that's kind of the way I see it. But the market going down a lot lately, it really hasn't. I mean, it really hasn't. It's been more or less up only on a weekly and on a monthly. So, but we're going to get dips, and that's okay. Those dips are actually healthy. All my questions have been answered. All right, good. Let me scroll back down here real quick. We're reaching the hour point. Let's see. Crow and Rogan live chat needs to happen. You know what? My wife Kristen actually booked us a trip to go to Austin and go to Joe Rogan's comedy shop and everything. And but we canceled it. But I would absolutely go. I would love, hopefully maybe if this whole thing with Mr. Cardone, Gary Cardone goes well on April 10th, and maybe if I can educate him some, and I mean, I don't think I need to educate him. I think it's more of a compare and contrast to what does Cardano do and what are the benefits of Cardano as opposed to Bitcoin. He's a major Bitcoin bull. I think Joe, I don't know that Joe Rogan is all that interested in crypto. I think he sees a lot of the hype and FOMO related to the blockchain space, but I don't really think he understands the tech. And I don't think he really understands why it exists. And I would love, and he's had people on his channel, but there are these people that I think explain things in ways that, I mean, Joe's a really smart guy, don't get me wrong, but I think that there's a way to go about communicating with someone like Joe Rogan in a way that he can really wrap his head around it. And I don't think he's had anybody on yet that's enabled him to do that. I could be wrong. And he could say, I do know crypto, I just don't give a shit about it. I don't really know. But somebody like Joe Rogan would be an absolute force in crypto if he really truly understood it, and understood the whys behind it. Like, what is this all really about? And I think I would be a great person for him to talk to about it. Man, even in private, if I ever went to his club and he was like, let's smoke, I'd smoke weed with Joe Rogan. Hell, if Elon Musk will do it, I'd do it. But let's veg out and let's just talk the talk and let's see what we can accomplish. But I'm sure that day would never happen. Hi, Crow. Your Cardano call in 2020, 2021 changed my life forever. I appreciate you. Keep going with your great work. Well, I appreciate you. And Gabriel, I love seeing comments like that. I love knowing that what I do and the time I put into this channel really does help people. It's been a long road. I was originally only expecting to be in the crypto space for maybe a year or two. That was in 2017. So, I'm glad. And I have a lot of friends and neighbors who have done really well. As a matter of fact, I just talked to somebody at my daughter's school. My daughter had an event for Easter, and I totally forgot that I talked to this guy. And I don't even remember what the price point was. It might have been 25 cents. I don't remember. But, I was just sitting. My daughter is really good friends with his daughter. And so we just sat together and started talking. He was asking me what I did, and I started explaining things. And I was telling him about Cardano. And and then all these months later, there's another event, and he runs into me and he's like, "Yo, man, I made $2,500 off of what you told me the other day." He's like, "I couldn't invest very much, but what I did invest made me $2,500 already." And I'm like, "Fantastic," And his wife is a police officer, and she walked up and she was like, "Yeah, it's been really cool." And it's like I love moments like that. I do, because honest to God, folks, being a YouTuber and being on here and trying to come up with stuff to talk about all the time, just to keep the algorithm somewhat liking you, it's not easy, and it's like there's such a responsibility. I just had a conversation today with somebody who I might have like a $30,000 paid sponsorship over the next few months. And he was asking me questions about the channel and this and that, and I broke it down to him in a very real way. And I'm like, "Listen, this is what I'm willing to do. This is what I do. This is how I do things." And I'm like, "And this is what's to be expected." And I'm like, "A lot of people aren't going to tell you this, but this is how things work." And and he loved that. And he was like, because he works with a lot of influencers, a lot of YouTubers, and he really liked my approach to things. And I'm like, "Listen, I try to keep everything real for everyone." And it's like the money's always nice, but I'm not going to sell my soul for it. I'm here to try and help people benefit from the space and what's going on. And so that's what my channel has always been all about. I call it as I see it, and I'm always right sometimes. But I definitely appreciate the sentiment. World Mobile starting to get some recognition within the crypto space now. Coin Bureau incoming. The world of telecoms already recognized them as the Congress in Barcelona earlier this year. So hyped about World Mobile. I am too, man. I mean, I've been into World Mobile since the very, very, very beginning, and I absolutely love it. I love it. So, so many comments. You guys are on fire. I love it. I'm seeing a lot of Twitter and YouTube. So maybe YouTube likes this video. So I don't know if that's the policy ID. The policy ID should be on crowtokens.com. I'm pretty sure that's the website. Let me take a quick look. Because I have it right there. Yeah, it's crowtokens.com. Maybe I'll show you here real quick. Since you're asking. 34. Yeah, that's it. 99 at the front, 34 at the end. Yeah, that's it. Touche. Let's see. So here, I'll remove this. You can see it right here. That's the policy ID for the Crow tokens. So yeah, man. Man, we've been on over an hour. We have over 1,000 people. It should probably should do another MOC NFT puzzle to have first dibs on walking through your personal dome. Interesting. I have thought, we're so busy with my trading card game, man. That's what I would love to do, an international puzzle for people, somehow tied to an NFT or something. I agree, Crow. Can't wait to build in corn. It's going to be awesome. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. That game is just, if you can get access to walk around and explore Cornucopias yourself, you absolutely should. It's pretty dang cool. I see one Tampa. Sweden. Okay. I'm in Sarasota. Ava Angel. Sarasota's really close. It's like 45 minutes away. So if I do a meet and greet, you better be there. All right. Sarasota. So close. So close. When we schedule something, Kissimmee, Florida. Yeah, that's like 2 hours away, but yeah, I mean, some people are close enough. I know when I've done some things in the past, people have actually flown in, and I'm like, why would you fly in to meet me? That's not worth it. But apparently, I mean, there are a lot of people out there, I guess, that I've helped do really, really well over the years, and they just want an opportunity to come buy me a beer. I'm like, all right, well, that's fantastic. I don't think Emergo's a weak link. I just don't necessarily think we know exactly what they're doing. If I wasn't deathly afraid of flying, I'd love to meet up. Too bad I'm in Warren, the war pig state. Yeah, I have a crazy fear of flying too, which is why I'll typically have 2 or 3 double scotches before I get on the plane and 2 more on it. So, yeah, hit the likes. Yeah, I don't even know what the stats are for this video, but I'm really appreciating the people that are joining us live. I think I need to go back to doing live streams again. That seems to be where I get the most engagement. I think you guys just like me to talk live. I guess you'll let me know if you like this video. If this video has 1,000 likes on it by the time I close it and I look, then I'll know everybody likes it when I go live over just uploading content. Hey, Crow, off-topic question. I have a script for Manjaro, but since I don't have diabetes, insurance ain't covering it. $1,000 monthly in cash. Advice on how to get it cheaper. I think I pay I think I'm paying like $850 and it's like for 8 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know where you're getting it or who wrote your script, but and there are generic versions of it. There's so many different variations of Manjaro. Semaglutide, I think, is one that I think is cheaper than Manjaro. But when I tried it, it wrecked me. I couldn't get out of bed for a week. And we also started on like the recommended dose, way too high for me. I'm super sensitive to everything. I remember back in the day, like I was always rubbing my nose because I was always shooting my videos in my basement. It was like always dusty. And I can't tell you how many times people be like, Dan, Crow's a cokehead. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't do that shit. But I'm so sensitive to stuff that like if I did, I would probably not. I learned like the amount I take is much, much lower than the prescribed dose, and it does me just fine. So yeah. But there are alternatives. You might try like if you go to like a boutique like testosterone clinic, I think they can get it cheaper. And they ship it all to you directly. So yeah. Jason, glad I caught you live. The algo worked this time. Oh, well, that's great, Buckley. I'm glad you're here. I love ADA, IAG. I hold all of those, Sergey or Sergey, I'm not sure, but I hold all of those as well, and I'm very proud I do. We still love you, Crow. Well, thank you, Everton. I appreciate it. I love you guys right back. I'm going to scoop up some World Mobile Token this evening. Also love IAG. I did a video on IAG recently, and I got a question asking me what I think my price predictions are going to be for those for like IAG, World Mobile Token, and something else. I can't remember, but I might actually do that. I might do them as separate videos. So if you see some price prediction videos coming on those, you might want to check those out because I want to really spend some time diving into some on-chain metrics and other things related to those projects. So smash those likes if you will. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you follow me on Twitter because I'm probably going to start doing this a lot more often as we move forward into this market. And yeah, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Typically, I got an hour before I get a headache from my lack of breathing because I talk so much. I deprive myself of much needed oxygen. So I'm going to go catch up. And until next time, guys, thanks for joining me. Crow your coins, and I'll see you again very soon.